Hello, my name is Wendy Lee, also known as Comedian Quiet Storm, and you are watching Hostal Waters Television.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are back here in the Hostal Waters studio. I cannot believe this guest that we have on here today. You guys have seen her. I'm pretty sure you know her. Wendy Lee, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, and you're so kind. It's only just the 10 people in my city that know me, but you're so kind. You're so kind. Appreciate it.
Only 10 people, my butt. I look at your page. There's more than 2 people liking everything that you be posting. So if you don't mind, let's get right into the questions.
Okay.
All right. So my first question to you, Miss Wendy Lee.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the Quiet Storm part of Wendy Lee and the Quiet Storm? Where did that come about?
Well, that is from my little circle of comedians. When I started doing comedy, I actually started from doing a conference. I went to a comedian conference. And the thing is, very little known Black history fact. I was shy, and sometimes I still revert to those shy tendencies. But when I went to this conference, I just kind of gravitated towards the background, and just was soaking up information. I really didn't talk to people too much. And so there was a portion at that comedy conference where it's called Test Your Talent, where everybody gets a little bit of stage time and then you get critiqued. And so the other comedians didn't even believe that I did comedy because I was so quiet during the whole conference. And so they were impressed. Once I did get on the stage, they were impressed because my everyday persona is quiet. And so they actually asked who wanted a stage name, because you have the option of using your given name or a stage name. So I wanted a stage name. And so the other comedians, they just put their heads together and just looked at physical features pertaining to me. And then they said, well, we're going to go with your personality. And they said, well, she's quiet, but she tears it up when she gets on the stage. And so there were a couple of names out there, and someone said Quiet Storm. I said, I like that. So I adopted it, and now it is I. Yeah, yes.
Well, hey, and I got to tell you, I love it because I know you, and there's not, from the conversations we have had, I have not seen one quiet thing about you. I'm just saying. So it's weird that they call you the Quiet Storm.
Yes.
All right. So how did you start it in comedy? What made you want to jump into that ring to be part of the Richard Pryors, the Eddie Murphys, I can keep going on, Whoopi, all of those guys. How did you get involved in all of that?
Well, little known Black history fact again. I never sought out to be a comedian. It's nothing I aspired to do. This thing just fell in my lap, honestly. And I do a lot of church events. So what happened, I actually went to this church one time, because I'm a church girl, it's my background in church. And I just went to this church talent show. And I went to support the talent show. I did not go to be a part because I was still in my shy days. I just went to support, and the pastor actually made the announcement, said we need more people to participate in the talent show. If anybody in the congregation wants to be a part, hey, come on back. And he made the announcement about 3 or 4 times, and the third time I was like, what can I do? And the thing is, I pride myself on being different. And so the thing is, another little known Black history fact, I have a host of talents. And so at that time, I was singing a little bit, and, I write poetry, and I also do liturgical dance. But those things had already been presented that night. I said, I want to do something that they haven't seen tonight. And it just popped in my mind to tell some jokes. And so I did that. So I remembered every little goofy thing from high school. I didn't write anything, on my own. I just told jokes that I had heard. And I read them from the paper because I was so nervous I couldn't remember them. So I wrote them on the paper, and I went up and read it from the pulpit. And when I went back to my seat, the pastor called me back up and he prayed over me. He said, you have an awesome gift. I see God taking you all over the world. I see God placing you before great men. And he said, I want to be the first one to sow into your ministry. And so they took up an offering for me that night. And then they called me back the following year to host the talent show.
Okay.
And so what I decided to do that year was to visit the church, because it wasn't my church. I was just visiting. I visited the church. And what I decided to do was to dress up like some of the members and mimic what they do on Sunday morning. And they loved it. They absolutely love it. And it was then that someone asked me for my business card. And I said, well, I'm not in business. I'm not a comedian. I was just having fun. So I said, well, you come to my church and do what you did tonight. I'm like, sure. And that was a domino effect, Damien. It was a domino. When I went to that church, the same thing happened. Can I have your business card? I'm not a comedian. I'm not in business. I'm just having fun. And believe it or not, for 7 years, I did that, just taking engagement. I might have had about 2 or 3 engagements a year during that 7-year span. But then that's what happened. People were calling me to come entertain their congregations. And then it was that 7th year where I found out about that comedy conference. And I went to that comedy conference. And that's when I met all these comedians and got my stage name. And then I learned about the business aspect. That's when I learned. I'm like, wait a minute. You mean?
Understand.
Yes. So that's what happened.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, see, most people wouldn't tell that story. They probably would have came up with something else. and it probably wouldn't have had church involved in it.
Yeah.
So it goes to tell you that if you take yourself to church and you believe in God, He will do things for you that you did not see yourself.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, Damien, the truth always works better because you don't have to remember the lie that you told. So like,
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
So with everything going on, I don't know about the role life of a comedian. Mm-hmm. Since it's with COVID, what have you been doing to stay on top of your game since you really can't get into the comedy clubs and here in Indiana, a lot of the churches aren't having members come to church. Right. So what are you doing to keep yourself out there?
Okay, well, a few things. Everything is virtual now. Majority of the things are virtual, and the thing is, when the weather broke, because that's the positive thing about what happened last year. When COVID first came, is that it was during the springtime, so the weather was breaking, and so I did several things, outside. There some churches actually still did have things outside, so I did several outside comedy shows, parking lot comedy shows. And the thing is, still the church is my main venue. They call me the most, so I do a few things in the comedy club. But actually, since COVID, I have done 0 for the comedy club, and even virtually. I think they're getting kind of the bigger names.
Right.
Really. Well, the church has done me well. The church has done me very well. But and so mainly just virtual, and even with the open mics, and there are a few writing rooms that I'm a part of, and so everything is virtual. And you know what? It's actually a blessing. I've taken advantage of getting so international. I had performed in Africa thanks to COVID.
Wow!
Because of Zoom, and then on Facebook Live, I got some connections in Africa and even Canada now, and even my items. I have a T-shirt and some on a book. I'm a co-author. Okay. And so my stuff is in other countries now. Some people from Canada has ordered my T-shirts and stuff. So I've got these connections. So when the world does open back up, I got my passport and I'm ready. I'm ready to travel. Yes. All right. And I got a copy of a COVID card. I bought one off of eBay for my COVID vaccination. I sell one to you for $20.
I may have to take one of those. All right. We're getting down to the end here. I have one more question for you before we get out of here for tonight.
Yes.
Where can people see you next outside of on Zoom and Facebook? Are you booking any events that people can come and see you at now that there's like a little break within COVID?
Well, yes, but everything is tentative. I actually did, and this individual has actually changed the date 3 times because of how the world is going. But I do have one thing that hasn't been confirmed, and it's actually a women's conference. And so I'm trying to get into a men's conference so I can, stop being single and start being plural. What's that?
Oh, that's another show. That's another show. I will have you back when we do that show. I will have you back, and we'll do like they used to do back in the day, to where we give you 3 dates, 3 virtual dates, and you figure out which one it does for you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's like they love it.
Oh, you are. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wendy, thank you so much for being on this show. Thank you for bringing the humor that is much needed in the world today. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up tonight?
Well, actually, 2 things. I am hosting my very first event, which is actually virtual. It is a Mother's Day event, and you can find it on my Facebook page. My information: I'm Wendy Lee, second name Comedian Quiet Storm on Facebook. I'm on the Insta of the gram under comedian_Quiet Storm, and I do have a website, and the website is wendyleequietstorm.com. All that information is on my website. So hey, check me out. Yes.
All right. Well, there you have it. Wendy Lee. We're going to put all of her information all of our social media sites. So you can catch it on Damien Hunt. You can catch it on the Hostal Water. You can catch it on DSSJ. You can catch it on whatever platform that we have it on. You can go and watch this young lady perform. Wendy, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh my God.
We've had so much fun today. As you can see, we bring you everything. We're not going to sit here and be one-sided on any kind of anything. We bring comedians, we bring politicians. We're going to bring everybody to the show so that way you can see these lovely people. Wendy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Hostal Waters TV. I am Damien Hunt. Remember to dream, sacrifice, and success. If you keep believing, everything will happen for you. Have a great night.